Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's adjust this. Happy Friday. It's Friday, everybody. On the one day a week I don't have to wake up ridiculously early, I am awoken by the noise and wind and crackling and howling and lightning at 5:30 this morning. Now, I have PTSD because the drains in my driveway, when it's too much water, they flood. They back not one time they backed up. That's when we had the basement incident. But the other times it doesn't go down. So I wake my poor husband up to go set up the pump. So we don't leave the pump set up all the time because there's a hose running through to hose the water out to the municipal lines, and the pump has to be plugged in, and I don't like to leave appliances unattended plugged in. So we set it up when need be. So he's out there, dark, pitch of dark, lightning, everything, setting up the pump. The driveway is backing up a little bit. So he sets up the pump. The minute he finishes setting up the pump and it's going to rain, stop. So anyway, the pump is doing its thing or whatever. So I just stay up. You know, why go back to sleep and torture myself? So I stay up or whatever. And I really had a really good, got the kids out the house. They're on their way to camp, their summer program. And I took a nice shower, a really nice long shower. It wasn't one of my 4-minute rush jobs. I actually used the soaps, designated to different parts of my female body. It was nice. It was nice. But I'm gonna call this a part two because I spoke about Keke Palmer and the whole situation with her baby daddy boyfriend. And, new stuff has come up and there's been commentary on it. So, and I tend to disagree. So, anyway, she now is starring in Usher's music video. I think it's called Boyfriend. She's the leading lady. Now, there's a part of me that understands celebrity trolling, setting up situations, especially when there's an album about to come out. You hear about some rap beef that's not really real, or when a celebrity is having a movie out, you hear about them having some kind of medical emergency and then popping back up on the scene, and people think they're a clone, and then you have a movie coming out called They Clone Tyrone. That's not lost on me, that celebrities now have to do this, what is it called, dance and pony show, because we're so old. Us as consumers are so overly saturated with content and news and celebrity lives that you kind of have to have a little bit of salaciousness for us to be entertained. This is kind of like probably what was going to be Jamie Foxx's last movie when there was no hype around it. What's the one where he was hunting vampires and shit on Netflix, or his TV show that we were like blah about, but then he has this situation and the theories are he's being cloned because he doesn't look the same, and then you have Monique talking about how he don't look the same, he don't act the same, and then this movie comes out and it's like, pardon this antiquated term, a blockbuster hit. So I don't believe in coincidences. I don't. So, yes, it is a quote unquote coincidence that Keke Palmer has this situation fueled by a garment that she wore to an Usher concert, in kind of like a lounge bar-y kind of type situation where he's swooning her and singing to her, and her boyfriend, baby daddy, makes a comment about her attire and her motherhood. And now, a few weeks, if not months later, she's now the leading lady in Usher's music video. Now, it could have happened that this situation happened and Usher was like, hey, and she was like, hey, or it could have been pre-planned. Either way, I'm with the shits. I'm with it all. Her boyfriend baby daddy, his name is Darius. I'm gonna stop calling him boyfriend baby daddy because that's too long. Fuck that nigga name. I don't care. I'm not doing it out of respect. Darius publicly says that he has moved on and it is possible to co-parent in the same house, and he is working on his acting career. Ain't that some shit? And I think the whole purpose of him and Keke Palmer getting together is that she did not want a man in the industry. She didn't. She had tried it. She had done it. She didn't like it. She wanted a regular schmegler degler man from the Bronx. That's a Cardi B. I'm just a regular schmegler degler girl from the Bronx. She wanted a norm, a normie, a regular, Reggie. Okay? And now he's working on his acting career. So, did you use her? Is this why y'all relationship was on and off, on and off, on and off? Because people like, oh, they've been together for years. It wasn't consistent. They were on and off, on and off, on and off. Okay? And when you have PCOS, you tend to be lax with the birth control because it's hard, damn near impossible for you to get pregnant. So you just out there living your best life, and one took. It's not planned pregnancy. Definitely not. So, whatever. So now he's working on his acting career. How convenient. I watch TGI Fridays on Fox Soul with Claudia Jordan, Funky Dineva, Al Reynolds. I really like the show. I do. I have a lot of conflicting thoughts when it comes to Al Reynolds, but I'm pretty on point when it comes to the views expressed by Claudia, and it's the views expressed by Funky. I tend to majority agree with, but the views by Claudia I always agree with, except for this last one. And I think because it was lost on her, this very important detail that was just briefly mentioned, and I think she was talking as if they were still together. So what happened was Al disagreed that what Keke was doing was the right thing. It was mean and insensitive and emasculating him. And Funky mentioned, or they mentioned that he publicly said they're not together, but it wasn't repeated. And they do drink on the show, as they should. I think it's fun when they a little lit. So Claudia said this is one of the most meanest things you could do to somebody in a relationship, especially when that person is not in the industry. And she equated it to her relationship when she was with a regular person and they went on a marriage boot camp, I think. And he said something and he got this backlash, and she pretty much understood that it was taken out of context. He did, you kind of don't know how to express yourself properly when you are on a reality show, and that is true, because a conversation that me and you could be having is very different when people are watching it, especially when it's been chopped and screwed on the cutting room floor and edited and stuff. And she stood by her man, because that was her man, and she did everything to protect him, and she defended him, and he went back and said that he regretted whatever statement it was, and yada yada yada. And she equated that to Keke Palmer, saying that Keke being in this music video was very mean, and he's not in the industry and da 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 da. But one, they're not together. He said that. He said we can co-parent. You don't have to be good parents in the same house. If you're not in my house anymore, we're not together. If we were living together and that's what it seemed like, we were living together and raising this kid, and you leave my house or leave the house, but it was her house, we're not together anymore. And you said you moved on. Moved on from what? The situation, or moved on from her? It sounded like you moved on from her. Okay? And then you're saying you're working on your acting career, therefore you are in the industry. You want to be in the industry and you are in the industry. Keke doesn't owe you that protection because now you are her peer. That's what you're striving to be. You're striving to be her peer. Now, if they were together living in the same house and she did this music video and he didn't know about it, yes, it's a little bit mean. It's a lot of bit petty and a little bit mean, but you don't owe that nigga nothing because he started it. And that could be a good way to say, I'm gonna fucking do this shit. These are signs that the relationship is overdue. Like once the respect is gone in the relationship, what do you have left but some flaccid dick and shared bills? Unless that's what you want. But you're not a regular girl. You damn sure don't need his income to sustain yourself. But somebody like me, whose whole lifestyle is balanced dollar for dollar on a middle class income, two of them, yeah, we not finna break up over no bullshit. You need me and I need you. We'll make this love shit work. Because none of us could sustain this on our own. I have upgraded the lifestyle based on two incomes at a minimum. Okay? At a minimum. And the way I am and the way I built, if that's elevated, if the income elevates, so does the lifestyle. Okay? I'm a firm believer in I'm hoarding the money, saving the money, investing the money. Oh, no. I'm finna enjoy my life and upgrade my lifestyle as my salary increases. Now, I'm not going to do anything irresponsible to have us hand to mouth on the street. But yeah, we not in the South Bronx no more making this money. No. No. Even though I think my starter home is going to be my forever home, because I don't see a future where I will ever get 2.25% on a mortgage ever again, baby. So we might have to extend that house, and because we probably ain't gonna leave unless there's gonna be another pandemic that helps us out with that. Nothing stimulates and balances out the economy than a couple 100,000 deaths. Okay? Too many people. Let's take care of this. Too many people, not enough dollars. Let's move some of this shit around. Okay? Let's not be lost. The fact that your granny died from COVID is why you're in that house now. Okay? Mommy and daddy done passed on, and now you got new cars and your student loans are paid off and da. Okay? This generational wealth is taking too long to be passed down. Let's have this pandemic to even that out. Okay? May the strong survive. This is like 300. Throw them off the cliff. The low-hanging fruit. It's not good for the tree. Okay, you pulling down them branches. That's why you trim off the dead leaves so the new leaves can sprout up and grow. I'm such a conspiracy theorist, but that's what I think. So, as tragic and as sad as C-19 was, student loans are paid off that would have normally not been paid off because they were private loans. And thanks to C-19, there was an option to convert them into a federal loan and not lose your payment history. And therefore, you could take your decades, almost 20 years of non-for-profit public service and get that paid off. That's what I did for my husband. Okay? If without that, and we transferred them over into a federal loan, his whole payment history would have been out of zero, would have started over. And then the interest rates on mortgages, that's because of C-19. Anywho, what was I saying? You see how I just get derailed so goddamn easy? What the hell was I talking about? Oh, Keke Palmer. This video about Keke Palmer. Anywho, yes, there's a part of me that thinks this was all planned out, but that's a small part. I think she left that nigga, or he left her, or what have you. She did the video with Usher. He now wants to be an actor. I feel like she was used. As far as, I will be with you, but you finna stay in this lane and I'm gonna make a career, and then when it doesn't work out, I'm gonna leave you. This sounds just like the Maori sister whose husband came out as bisexual and she felt betrayed and they're now getting a divorce. I think it's Tia. Yes, because Tamara's married to the white wine guy. The only thing that Keke avoided was marriage for this nigga to then take you to court and try to get alimony and 2 kids. Because he's your boyfriend. You don't got to give him nothing now. But guess what I just saw in the headlines? Because he didn't get married. He's now trying to get full custody. He's now trying to get full custody. You know what comes with full custody? Child support. And he's probably going to use some bullshit that she's a celebrity and she's traveling all the time and she can't care for the baby and da 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 da. But if I think I'm right, Keke Palmer's mother goes with her everywhere. So that baby could go with her everywhere. But if you didn't see that coming, you was a damn fool. You're not finna leave Keke Palmer unwed. Unwed. You go back to the sticks. You're back to a no name brand, no frills, fucking personal trainer. Like I said in my last video, these niggas try to pump babies in you and have you sat down. Okay, you wanted to pump a baby in her so she sat down and then you could ride her name in coattails and be the stars of Tubi movies. Because you definitely got a Tubi light-skinned nigga look. All right, I'm not going to be that mean. You definitely got the aesthetic that Tyler Perry's looking for. You definitely going to play the hero, because you know all the antagonists and the males in Tyler Perry movies are dark skinned. All the bad ones are dark skinned, and the good light ones are the heroes. So you definitely are the hero to pull the molested single woman with 2 kids and marry her. Okay? While her dark-skinned baby daddy terrorizes their life. So he definitely got that look. He definitely is Tyler Perry's leading man, aesthetic in the face, but you never gonna be no A-lister. You just don't got it. You don't got the look. You don't got the look. Okay? So you need to go get the money how you could get the money. And Leotis comes with a check. And not the check that you hood booger bitches try to get by having your kids have disabilities and giving them soda and Kool-Aid and fucking up their brains so that they and they have behavioral problems. And then you let the school district put them in special ed because they don't have intellectual problems. They're fucking overly stimulated with garbage food. But you let these school districts put them in special ed because they tell you they're going to get a check. So it's not that. It's not that kind of check he's getting, like the Social Security, because your baby don't talk. So let's have him diagnosed with a disability, but he don't talk because nobody talks to him. Okay? Nobody's speaking to him. You got him in front of the digital babysitter, and he's not speaking, if that. But you want to get that check, and there's nothing wrong with him. He has a nurture problem, not a nature problem. But anywho, and I'm saying this because when I went to go get my son evaluated, when he was a little baby, and I was in the waiting room, listening to these women have these conversations where the evaluator think they just needed a little bit of help, and these women, I ain't seen no men there, so I'm blaming the women because you know the men don't do this shit. That's another problem. These women were pushing for more services, and they wasn't pushing for more services to help that kid. You could tell they didn't give a fuck about that kid. And I'm going to tell you how I know they didn't give a fuck about that kid. Because when they was talking to the evaluator, that fucking kid was playing with hand sanitizer. You didn't turn around not one time. You didn't give a fuck about him. So you advocating for him to get more services, but he's pumping hand sanitizer and rubbing it all over his face like fucking lotion. You didn't give a fuck. You need those more services so you can get that check. So when I was seeing that is when Leotis comes with a check. Comes with a check. Comes with a child support check from his mama. Now, that goes back to the excuse me. That goes back to the Al Reynolds view that she's emasculating him and tearing down his manhood, but but it goes back to, yes, I would feel that way if they were together, because if you chose to stay together, then you chose to forgive him, and then that's just mean and cruel. Even though I'm all for mean and cruel when it's warranted. I think him publicly shaming her like that, if he was entitled to a lick back, yes, he is. And that lick back would definitely be the Usher music video. But I don't see Keke Palmer being like that. I can be wrong. In her 20 plus year career, if not longer, she just doesn't take me to be that kind of person. And it just is leaning me to think that, and that's what Funky said, like, she just don't seem like that type of girl. I never met her. He never met her. She just doesn't, that just doesn't seem to be her vibe. Um, they're not together. They're not together. And it's leading me to believe that he's the one that left. Like, she distanced herself from him and he just kept pressing the issue, and he was like, fuck it, thinking he was going to hurt her and thinking she was going to beg and grovel, and that didn't work. And now he's trying to get full custody. Um, and why else would a man want full custody? And I'm not saying that, oh, because he's a father and he wants to be around his son, but why full? Why not joint? Why not shared? Why full? And that's where it comes to me being, mm, mm, why full? Now, there's certain situations where full is warranted. I think it was a mutual agreement for what's the name? Jennifer Hudson and her ex-husband. I think it was both mutual for that to be full, because she really didn't have a support system. Remember, her sister's husband or boyfriend murdered like damn near the entire family, murdered Jennifer's mother, sister, the son, or something like that. He just went on a murdering spree. So her support system is pretty much gone. So I could see that being okay. I'll go out and do this. I think he's a lawyer, very 9 to 5 regular guy. I think he was on David Atunde or something like that. He was on I Love New York. Then he did wrestling for a bit, but I think he's back to doing law. Um, so I think he had settled down having a regular life and being stable, and they agreed that he would have full custody while she continued on her career. But I don't see Keke needing him to have full custody. I don't see her working like that. Like, she does a little yang 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 here and there, but she ain't no Nick Cannon. She ain't bouncing all over the place doing this job, this job, this job. I think she's pretty stable. I think she lives in one house. I think she's there the majority of the week. She might travel to do an interview here and there, but all the interviews I see her doing are remote. Um, she might do a movie, but she can bring the baby with her, stay in the trailer with the mama and the nanny. I don't see why Darius needs full custody except for a check. So, like I said, I'm not blaming her, because you don't know how somebody is going to react or change. And frankly, a woman with PCOS, if you get pregnant naturally, almost 30, and you could afford it, you keep it. Um, what he gonna do? He ain't gonna win. Like, she would have to be a cracked out, binged out whore for some judge to snatch that infant, because he's still and he's little. That baby ain't even one yet. Okay? That baby ain't one yet. What judge is gonna snatch that baby infant? Snatch that damn near newborn. I think he's what, 3, 4, 5 months. He's little, 6 months maybe. Snatch that baby away from her to give to the father without just cause. Now, am I saying that Keke should get full custody because she's the mother by default? Absolutely not. What's wrong with joint? What's wrong with half? You want that check. You ain't fooling nobody. Anyway, he ain't gonna win, but you really putting your ass out there. And dummy. Such a dummy. It's a good thing I'm not a nigga. Like, it's a really good thing that I turned out to be a woman, because I would do damage if I was a dude.